boys and girls. I wanted to share with you one of our favorite books that we always read during Rock Week. The name of our story is Elizabeti's Doll, and it's by Stephanie Stuve Bodine. I'm going to read each page, and I know you may not be able to see the pictures real well, but after I read, I'll hold the book closer to the camera so you can see the pictures better. Okay, let's start. Elizabeti's Doll. There she is. Elizabeti had a new baby brother named Obedi. Elizabeti watched Mama take care of him, and she wanted to care for her own baby. She didn't have a doll, so she went outside and picked up a stick. She tried to hug it, but it poked her, and she dropped it on the ground. Then Elizabeti picked up a rock. It was just the right size to hold, and it didn't poke Elizabeti when she hugged it. She kissed the rock and named it Ava. Here's the stick. Rock. I like the little chicken. Reminds me of Hazel. When baby Obedi had a bath, he splashed and got Mama wet. When Ava had a bath, she behaved very nicely and only splashed a little. There's Obedi getting his bath, and there's Ava getting her bath. Mama fed Obedi and gave a loud burp. Elizabeti fed Ava, but she was too polite to burp. Mama changed the cloth wrapped around Obedi's bottom, and it was very messy. Elizabeti was very relieved to find that Ava's bottom was still clean. There's Mama and Obedi. And Elizabeti and Ava. When Mama did her chores, she tied Obedi onto her back with a bright cloth called a kanga. When Elizabeti did her chores, she also tied Ava onto her back with a kanga. Mama had to help a little. There's Mama's chores. And there's Elizabeti. Elizabeti went to visit her friend Rafai. Rafai laughed when she saw that Elizabeti had a rock for a doll. But Rafai didn't have a doll either, so when Elizabeti left, Rafai found her own rock and named it Malusi. I like her face. Look how she's laughing. And then when Elizabeti left, Rafai found a rock. When Elizabeti got home, it was time for her to get water for the village well. She took Ava out of the kanga and laid her on the ground near some other rocks so she wouldn't get lonely. Then Elizabeti wrapped the kanga into a small bundle, put it on top of her head, and placed the water jug on top of the kanga. This was how she always carried water and other heavy things. There she took Ava out. And there she is do you see her with the jug on her head? Elizabeti soon returned with the water and took it to her sister Pindo inside the cooking hut where all the family's meals were made. Then Elizabeti ran outside to get Ava, but Ava was gone. Elizabeti looked all around, but she couldn't find Ava. Ava! Ava, where are you? Mama found a new rock and gave it to Elizabeti. Elizabeti shook her head when she saw it. The other rock was just a rock. Pindo also bought Elizabeti a rock, but it wasn't Ava either. Elizabeti does not look happy, does she? Elizabeti was very sad. She sat quietly until it was time to help Pindo in the cooking hut. The family had rice for dinner every night, and it was Elizabeti's job to put the pot of rice on the fire pit, which was made of 3 large stones. Elizabeti sadly filled the pot with water and set it on the stones to boil. But one of the stones wasn't a stone at all. It was Ava! Look at her surprised face. Can you tell which one is Ava? Elizabeti called for Mama, and together they moved the pot of water and rolled Ava away from the fire. Although Ava was a bit dirty, she hadn't been hurt. Pindo ran outside to get a new stone for the fire pit, which is just how poor Ava had become lost. Ava sat quietly while Elizabeti cleaned her off and hugged her. At bedtime, Mama sang a lullaby and rocked Obeti in her arms until he fell asleep. Elizabeti sang a lullaby too, but she fell asleep before Ava did. It's Mama. Since this story happens in Africa, it's an African lullaby. Mama covered Elizabeti and Ava with a blanket. She smiled and thought that One day Elizabeti would make a fine mother. Ava thought so too. Good night. Elizabeti's doll. I hoped you liked that. When I read this book to my little girls, when they were younger, they wanted to go outside and go on a rock hunt and find a rock that could be their doll. And we did, and they took care of those dolls like they were babies. They wrapped them in little washcloths and drew little faces on them, and they took the best care of them and had so much fun doing it. Maybe you'd like to go outside and find a rock tomorrow or today after school and make it your little baby. I hope you enjoyed our story, Elizabeti's Doll.